Hey guys, welcome back to the 164 show, and I hope you guys had a fantastic 2021. It's actually the last episode for 2021, and I wanted to give you a good one. So we're going to go back to doing interviews, and today we have lined up Mr. Doug Goodman, and he is a Hot Wheels customizer based here in Auckland. However, the interview that you're about to see with Doug is recorded about almost 2 months ago, and it was recorded via Skype during the New Zealand or the Auckland lockdown. So the quality is going to be a little bit crappier than what I normally would deliver, but I hope you guys take the material and information and also the cars and the effort that we put into this video and the interview more than the actual quality of that video. Now, let's get into today's content. As I mentioned before, we have a very special guest here again, and I wanted to introduce to you my good friend Doug Goodman, and he's joining me in Auckland, but unfortunately we're stuck in Skype world virtually because it's still Auckland is still in lockdown. But hey Doug, I'm glad that you can join me today and be part of this video. We've both been talking about doing something like this for a long time, like months, and finally again we can get something done and something in the pipeline. So for the audience, could you let us know who you are and also how you really got into Hot Wheels and what you're kind of doing, especially during lockdown?
No problem. Hey, I'm good. Nice to see you, Pete, by the way. Virtually, of course. Can't actually be face to face, but that'll come soon enough, hopefully. I'm Doug. I've been collecting Hot Wheels for a fair few years. I had an average size collection, and then it was taken out due to a massive flood, and then I decided after the flood I wanted to get back into it again. And so I just started collecting cars that I liked the look of, and I was lucky enough to have an area in a garage which is dedicated purely to my Hot Wheels. So the ability to have those displayed just meant that I could choose more cars that I wanted to have. And I just progressed from there, finding castings that I enjoyed, different genres of cars. For example, JDM is a big love of mine. Growing up, I've always had JDM cars and Fords, particularly the older style stuff. Growing up in South Africa, we had a whole lot of Fords, and they've always just been a close passion to mine. And so the main three castings I enjoy collecting, anything JDM related, anything Ford related, and Porsche as of the last couple of years. But yeah, so customizing has just been something I've been doing over the last few years. I just decided one day, I'd seen a few friends do it, and I thought, I'm going to give it a go. And I started just with the simple wheel swap, and it just kind of progressed onto there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where I've kind of dabbled into customization, is just doing wheel swaps, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the easiest way of starting. Just
pick up a drill, buy a set, or sacrifice a set of premiums and put new wheels on your favorite cars.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can find on sale, for example, some cars that you want to try out, like that are premium ones that have got the rubber tires and good looking wheels, that is a fantastic base. I mean, it just literally starts with drilling the rivets out, changing the wheels, putting it back together, and that is just the simplest start that you can do. As I say, the world's your oyster after that.
Exactly. Because buy a set of nice looking rims for your 164 die cars can range like $10, $20, maybe even more landed in New Zealand. But just pop to the warehouse and just get like a peg warmer premium. Just use those wheels, get practicing, grab a drill. Yeah,
there's many friends that do that exact same thing. Yeah. There's guys that collector friends of mine that are big into the customizing world, and they have literally got pegs, bins full of shelved cars where they've just stripped the wheels out of them. Just gone to the warehouse, like you said, on a sale day and just bought 15 of the same thing just for the wheels.
All right, so I just picked up a point when you said you looked at JDM when you're young, and there's a big inspiration for real cars. And is that from Initial D, or is that from other inspirations like Fast and Furious, or what kind of inspired you for JDM?
Just when I was at school and we started to get into cars, a lot of my friends, they had JDM cars. Back when I was at school, you could get an A86 for a couple of $1,000s. You could just pick up easy rear-wheel drive Toyota Stylus, for example, for a couple of $100s. And now all of that sort of stuff is in the $30,000, $40,000 mark. But back then, it was just run of the mill. You could pick them up for cheap as, and so everybody was just having them, and it was cruising around Auckland City on Friday and Saturday nights, long hours, leaving at 8 at night, getting back at 4 in the morning, just doing the circuits of street racing and just doing that sort of stuff. It just JDM was just what we saw all day, every day, and that's what we loved.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's kind of set you the foundation of your Hot Wheels as well. So when you start doing the wheel changes, wheel swaps, and when you started doing painting and the other customization of your Hot Wheels, what other car ranges did you start working on? You say you had Porsches, you had Fords?
Well, the trick that I sort of enjoyed is doing castings that are easily readily available, something that you don't have to spend a lot of money getting, because it's going to happen regardless of what level you're at. If you screw the casting up, or you over drill it, or the paint hasn't worked, or there's some issue, you can easily get another one. So that was one of my starting points, as I always made sure I had multiples of the same one that I could get an idea of. And then once I started to get a bit better at it, I could then just take the same thing and then just do a slight modification here, or adapt a different variation of paint onto it, or different style of paint job on it.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Get practicing pretty much.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. And like I said, everybody starts off somewhere. And I've got numerous cars. I'm looking at the collection now of where they were just a simple wheel swap, and then it went to a paint job, and then it went to a different style of paint job, like a splatter paint. And the simplest idea, if it's done carefully and with precision, can have the biggest effect, honestly.
Sure. So when you first started this customization beyond wheel swapping, what kind of tool ranges did you have?
Just basically I had the drills, 4mm drill bit, a Dremel kit, and that was how I started. And to be honest, that's pretty much what I have at the moment as well. Just simple stuff. These guys out there that have huge workshop setup, and that works for them if they can. On a smaller budget, such as what I run with, you just need a decent drill that'll go through it, and a decent Dremel setup. That's all you really need.
Have you kind of worked with clay and plaster as well?
Yeah, I've been working on that at the moment. There's different styles that I've been looking at, different clay, different putties, different molding equipment that you can get. And I'm yet to find one that has the best effect for me. There's one that I'm looking into at the moment, and I'm speaking to a couple of friends at the moment how they use theirs, and if I can adapt their technique, the way they do it, onto my castings, I'm going to be a very happy man.
And when you start putting in other bits of maybe fiberglass or metal to make the wings and the arrow, and then that would start completing looks of certain cars. Absolutely. So what have you been doing during lockdown? So I've seen pictures and you shared with a lot of projects that you've been working on, but could you go through some of the things that you've been working on in a bit more detail?
Sure. So one of my biggest joys of doing customs is doing them for other people. So I really enjoy doing a custom of someone's car that they have themselves, or sort of a genre that they like. For example, I was doing for an American friend of mine who's got a real love of horror movies. He's got a real fascination of horror movies. I'm doing a horror series, and for example, I'm doing that. So that's one of his all-time favorite movies.
Yep.
And I'm doing that with about 3 or 4 other movies, and the cars are just based on something to do with the movie. And it's just trying new things, doing card art that I haven't done before, and doing, like I said, a variation of painting techniques. Like on this Ford that I've done, it was a splatter paint, but with a difference. Not many people know the trick that I've used. But in order to get that exact blood stains, there's a special technique I've discovered.
Do you mind sharing that, or you want to keep it to the grave?
No, nail polish.
Nail polish?
That was something that I came across. Yeah, it's a metallic nail polish that I had lying around, and I was using it for the tail lights because it gives it like an LED style effect on the tail lights.
Yeah, I
decided to start flicking it at this car. Yeah. Once I put the clear coat over the top, dude, it just came up with a perfect blood stain. And like I said, it's not for everybody. It's not everybody's taste. Yeah. But for my friend in the States, this is exactly the sort of stuff that he loves. And I'm doing these as a surprise for him.
Fantastic. I didn't have a quick view of that car. Could you explain the car itself, where it's from? Where did you kind of sacrifice it from? What was it before?
It's a 1956 Ford panel van. So it was just one of the many multiple pig warmers that I had lying around, but it's an absolute favorite casting of mine. Like the F100 pickup truck was actually my wedding van that my wife and I had. We had 3 of them. So that was that's got a personal love for us, that we've really enjoyed these cars.
Sure.
And so I've actually done multiple customs of these for friends and for myself. And so it's just, I really enjoy doing castings of cars I like as well, because then I can see a love for them. It's not just a simple car that you can find. If you can find multiples of something you love, you actually spend more time looking after it, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you tell me how you kind of worked on the card art as well?
Yeah. Oh, there's an idea that I had. I hadn't seen anybody do anything like this before. And the idea was, if I could relate the car to something in the background, it would link. And then I decided, well, he loves horror movies. Look for horror posters of the original movies. And like I said, I'm doing a horror series of 5 different cars for him. The others aren't finished yet, but they are just being printed off. And literally take the poster, cut it down to size, perfect fit.
Exactly. So is that completely done now? That's final.
Yeah, this is the
product.
Yeah, this is the final product. And my other little special touch that I like to do is have details of the vehicle that I'm using on the back.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just basically going to Wikipedia, getting some information on the car itself. So both sides of the car are done.
Where does that QR code go?
To my Instagram page, Man Cave Customs.
Yep.
Yeah, so that there's another little trick. Hashtag Man Cave Customs. But yeah, so that's the thing. He shows it to his buddies in the States. They look at it, they go, oh, sweet, have a scan of that. And it just gets other people interested in what I'm doing. And that's what I want. I'm not expecting hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Just see what people on the other side of the world would think would be kind of cool.
Good. All right. Would you be able to share with us what other one of the horror series you're going to work on, or is that a bit secret?
Yeah. I'm doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre V-Dub. So like a 19 original V-Dub Combi 21 window bus.
Okay.
And the whole thing's being set up with that. So that's going to have decals. When I did his customs, one of the things I wanted to do for him was a variation of modifications. Simple paint jobs, decals, full body modifications, just so he had a full range of what I was setting up, what I'm able to do. And that's one thing I love, is a variation that he can look at the wall and go, okay, that's got a wheel swap, that's just been painted, that's been decaled, that's been body modified, and you can see the variation that's available.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Have you started on that?
Yeah. So I've pretty much finished all the cars. Yeah. I'm just doing the last little touches of the wheels, because the wheels are a big key factor when you're doing the customs. If you can have the best paint job in the world, the best body modification in the world, if you have the wrong wheels, it just turns the thing round and it does not set right, I feel.
Okay, so there was another car that you shared with me that you've been working on.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, let's give it a bit of hype, and let's start with the absolute basic. Could you tell us what it actually started its life out as, and what was the final objective of this custom?
Sure. It was the Porsche 356 Outlaw, and a buddy of mine has been collecting Porsche for many years, and I wanted to do something to him because he's actually been incredibly grateful for what I've done in the past, and he's gifted me many items. For example, he gave me the new Datsun Super as a total pro bono freebie, just for no real reason. And
was it the
exactly,
510?
And exactly, the green 510 recent release Super that we saw very limited amount of, and he knew I needed it for my set.
$300-$400 or something like that.
Yeah, those are the ones. And so he gave me that, and I had no idea that was even coming. So I wanted to do something special for him. So I took the 356 Outlaw, and I did a full body modification. Turned it into a classic convertible.
Yeah, I see that.
And I've gone for period correct paint job.
So that's with the Dremel, I assume?
Yeah, and that was with, I started with the Dremel now. So this one was a jewelry saw. That's another bit of advice. If anybody ever wants to get into more, get a jewelry saw. Cheap tool to have, and you can go anywhere with that. Like I said, that's just literally taking the roof off, clean paint job, clean wheels.
What's the wheels from? What was the donor car?
Those are, funny enough, those are from a different V-dub that I'm doing. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre V-dub combi that I'm doing.
I see. Right.
Yeah.
So you're not actually throwing away anything? Recycling?
No, exactly. So
yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. I could spend $20-$30 for that set of wheels, or I could just get one of the combis that are out occasionally for $8 to $10. And like I said, the wheels are one of the biggest keys to setting the car just right.
Definitely finishes the car and overall look. I agree.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to do. And I'm doing an original Porsche poster as a card art for that, of that exact car. So again, it's not the normal run-of-the-mill Hot Wheels card. It's a one-off card that he's going to have specifically for this one-off custom.
Mm-hmm. Is there any plans for you to pick up like 3D modeling or to finish the card, like the card artwork?
Yeah, I'm actually in talks with a friend of mine who does that, and his work is next level. Like his custom 3D graphic work that he does has actually been portrayed numerous times on Instagram around the world. And yeah, his work is second to none. Like I look at his cars that he does, and I can't actually tell if they're real or not.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video with Mr. Doug Goodman. He runs an Instagram page called Man Cave Customs. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Go check him out, and also if you like his stuff, give him a follow, give him a like, comment on his stuff as well. He does a variety, as you've seen, of different cars as well. Possibly some new contents with him next year. I'm not so certain yet, but if you like his stuff and you like him on this channel, let me know, so we could probably organize some cooler content as well. Now, have a fantastic holidays, guys, and I hope once again 2021 has been an up and down roller coaster year, but 2022 will be a lot better. I will see you guys next year and more videos. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.